it's always a good idea, I think, to befriend your local bike shop. Most importantly, I think, because almost always in my experience these folks are smart and kind and enthusiastic and well informed and can help you make some good choices. But also it's just fun. And so I was in there the other day picking up a new bell for my bike, which you'll see on my channel, when Daniel at Electric Bike Scotland, which is my local bike shop here in Dundee, said to me, "Hey, do you want to borrow that for a few days and see what it's like?" And he was indicating a Riese and Müller Multicharger, which is a phenomenal bike. The reason I particularly said, I mean, I would say yes to any Riese and Müller bike. They're amazing bikes, they look fantastic, really, really high end. But the reason I particularly like this one is because it's got not a super long tail, but quite a long tail on the back of it, with a backrest and boards for feet and a padded bit for your bum for my kid. And so that's what we're going to do in this video. I'm going to drop off my 10-way Seagull 800S with them to have a go on. I'm going to pick up the Multicharger, and then me and my daughter on the back and my wife and her bike are going to head up the coast here in Scotland to Carnoustie. And the idea of us all sort of travelling as a little mini peloton together makes me happy. Even though the weather's not as nice as it was forecast, I think we'll still have a fun day. So let's drop off this bike and pick up the Riese and Müller. And that's me on the Riese and Müller Multicharger. Now, from the angle that you're at just now, you won't see anything particularly special about this bike. You're going to have to trust me when I tell you that it is an incredibly smooth and elegant and refined ride, but with obvious power behind it as well. It's not effete kind of power and elegance. There's real muscle here as well. It's a very chunky bike, very heavy. But if I swing this camera down to the side in a sec, you'll see what makes this bike so special. And there it is, that great big rack at the back, which is obviously suitable for cargo, but also brilliant for taking passengers with you as well. You can take people of this weight, I can't remember what the number is, or 2 kids up to the age of 7 for a total of this weight. What do you think?
Is this what I'm saying?
Yep, you're going to sit there, so I'll sit here, and you'll sit here. You can hold on to these bars.
Okay, am I going to be facing this way, or am I going to be facing this way or this way?
That way.
Okay.
I can see why you think that, though. Shall I lift you in, see what it's like?
Wait.
Sit for you either side. Down you go.
Holy God.
How's that? How does it feel?
I like
Not too much wobbling. How does it feel? So I try pulling you forward and see what it's like.
Yeah.
Let's see, you're pretty heavy. Ready? That's it.
Oh my god, that's so cool. It's like you're on a motorbike.
that was lovely. We cycled 8 miles up the coast to Carnoustie here in the northeast of Scotland. The weather started off a little bit grey and overcast, but it's now quite sunny. And it was really nice keeping the family all together on their bikes. Jenny on hers and my daughter and me on the Multicharger. I used to carry her around in a trailer, a little bike trailer that I used to take her to nursery and school with. And I liked it. I liked being able to just keep her with me and to know that she was safe. She is at an age now where she could cycle, probably not this far, but she could cycle. But there is something particularly joyful about just keeping her with me and having her on a pillion behind me means that I'm not as worried about her being vulnerable to road traffic as when she was in the trailer. So it was really practical, really fun. She started off quite nervous, but she was, whooping and hollering as we got towards Carnoustie, so she really warmed to it. And it was fun for me too. It's a powerful bike, really easy to cycle. It is admittedly quite heavy. You notice it when you stop and you put one foot down. You notice the sort of weight of the bike at that point. But when you're actually cycling it, it's lovely. If my daughter did push herself to side, you felt that weight, you had to be a little bit conscious of it, a little bit wary of it, but that's just a little bit of training and getting people to do things the way they should. So, cycled up the coast, had an ice cream, had a play in the park, time to cycle back. And on the way back, let's get my daughter to tell you what she thought of the Riese Müller Multicharger.
Okay, so, hi, and my name's Ada, and so these are my thoughts about this bike. So, it's a bit scary when you haven't got used to it, but when you've been cycling in it for quite a long time, you get used to it. My favourite thing about the bike is how you see the landscape around you, and my least favourite thing is when you stop. And sometimes the road can be a bit bumpy, but that's okay. And if you feel a wobble, just remember that it's okay, because you don't have to balance the bike if you're sitting in the back of it. The person cycling has to do the balancing. And so yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
So that then is the Riese Müller Multicharger. What a phenomenal fun bike to have. Now, I know that the question you want to ask is how much is it, and the answer is I'm not going to tell you because it's too much money for most people. It will scare people off. But it's not particularly about how much money it costs. You could make an argument that it's about how much money you save, and that's a fair argument. But as always with e-bikes, I think for me it's just like how much joy they bring you. I'm able to cycle up the coast really nicely with my daughter behind me, trying to make faces at the camera, with my wife as well. It's just lovely, and I don't think you can put a price on that. Yes, it costs more than most small cars. I don't really care. It brings me more joy than most small cars. What a joyful, practical and fun thing to have a go of. And I'm super grateful to Daniel at the Electric Bike Company, at Electric Bike Scotland rather, for loaning it to us for a couple of days to have some play with. Did you like it, Ada? Yeah. She says, yeah. Let's do some overtaking.